Hi, Monsignor Farisi here at Immaculate Conception Catholic Church, here in my rooms for another Fireside Chat, number 16. And maybe I'll last for a while until, God forbid, there's another outbreak. But now that we're all going out, we don't really need the Fireside Chats as much. But if we do, we will. Thanks for all the feedback you've been giving me on these things. It's very helpful. You've been very kind in expressing your support for this kind of honest but at the same time casual input and conversation. I want to start with here Saint Benedict. I've spoken often about the importance of monasticism for the Church, both the Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox churches. They really, in many ways, have been instrumental in diffusing a spiritual presence throughout the whole Church, through the Holy Spirit, of course. But they've really done a great deal, all the monastic orders, for the good of the Church, and the monastic writers as well. Benedict created the Benedictine Rule, which was an environment for prayer and work and living together, community. Really a brilliant document that has really stood the test of time, the test of time for 1,500 years, and so it's something that we should be aware of. And he created an environment where all the major important things can happen. He took it upon himself to create that environment. That's what the rule is supposed to do, create an environment where people can be really Christian to one another and being able to listen to the voice of God in their lives. We've tried to do that at home now. I've done a number of Fireside Chats on creating an environment at home that would be conducive to prayer, to communication, and to a lot of good things that we're able to do during this lockdown period. But now we're kind of like branching out. We're starting to be outside more. Things are starting to get slowly back to normal, at least for a while, hopefully permanently, but that's in God's mind, not in ours at this point. So I thought we should start talking a little bit about what do you keep and what do you let go in creating an environment that's prudential and prayerful, not just in the lockdown situation at home, but as it expands to our workplace, neighborhood, stores, etc., etc. It's still in the process of doing that, but where it's being, a very key topic would be schools in the fall. How do you create that environment of learning, and for Catholic schools, of faith, in the midst of the safety protocols we have to have? So that's important. So some of the things that I would suggest we keep in this new thing is the importance of prayer. Obviously, prayer is important all the time. Keeping prayer at the center of our lives, whether we are in the home or outside of it, is so essential. Prayer is our lifeblood to God, and that's one of the basics of life. It has to be prayer. Prayer is like oxygen. There are people who don't pray, but I think they're not really fully living because they're not getting the air, the divine air that they need. So prayer definitely. I would definitely keep getting in touch with people. And one of the things we had to learn is like calling people we haven't heard from for a while and chatting on the phone with them. That's not a bad thing, and you could keep that. We should keep contact with people. Along with that, keep deepening our friendships and our relationships at home. Keep spending time with each other. Now we're kind of forced to spend time with each other. Now we have to make it intentional. We have to say, look, we as a family, we spent a lot of time together. Now we're branching out. But let's keep a little bit of time, like every day we're going to get together at one point, or we're going to turn all the phones off and we're going to just spend some time with each other, or something that you could do and keep a little of the good that has been happening to us. We've had time with each other that we normally don't have, and that's good, and that we can actually very, very keep. The internet, it's a good thing to keep. You know, in the church, we're going to put permanent cameras for streaming masses, because we know that we've been in touch with people who never would see, would never see the church again. And they moved away, or their family members that they know. I know some of cousins in Italy see the masses that I have here in the church. It's a beautiful thing, and that's something we discovered. We could keep that. You know, let's keep the prudential and good use of the internet. Some things we are not essential, but that is definitely important. So we keep the internet, but as our servant, as a way of working, not as our master. And then finally, I think let's keep the safety protocols. I know people just don't like the masks; they like the, but this virus is dangerous, it's persistent, it's there all the time, and we don't want to go through what we went through in March and April and into May. That was a nightmare, and that could happen again if we allow the safety protocols to be thrown to the side. Oh no, it's over. It's like the flu. It's over. It's not like the flu. Look at Florida and Texas and these things that are going through now. They're warm places. You know, the flu goes away in the warmth, but this doesn't go away. So it's very important to keep those safety protocols. Some things we could let go of. First of all, let go of this fear. Now, some of that fear is good in the sense that we have to be cautious. We have to follow the safety protocols. That's caution. Fear, there were times during this pandemic that you just got afraid of everything. Afraid of losing loved ones, afraid of them going into hospitals and not being able to see them again. There were a lot of very valid fears. We could hold on to those fears too much. We have to. It is a new situation. While we're cautious about safety, at the same time, we have to let go of some of the fear we have, and just say that was appropriate at one point, but an excessive concern about fear may bring that isolation with us, and that brings to isolation. We have to de-isolate in the sense of really reach out to one another in a more basic way. And there were times when the isolation was protective and felt right, but for the most part, it's an anomalous situation. We shouldn't be in isolation. We should be reaching out. Now, if you have a pre-existing condition or are elderly, like myself, 70 years old, we have to be extra careful. So a higher degree of being on our own may be more appropriate. So if our family is saying, just stay home for a while longer, it's still dangerous, please stay home, that's good. And don't forget, there's no obligation for Sunday Mass. The bishop still has allowed no obligation for Sunday Mass. So please, if you're elderly or infirm, stay home. Don't say, well, Monsignor on this fireside chat said we should just, no, I'm not saying that. For some of us who don't have pre-existing condition, are not elderly, this gives us a little more opportunity. For some of us who are elderly, it does require perhaps a little longer isolation than everybody else. Just accept that as part of the will of God. You know, not your family's not trying to make your life difficult. It's just they're trying to protect you. You know, we can let go of the hurts. You know, during our time, I spoke a little bit about this last fireside chat. Maybe in living together for those period of time, we might have said things and, you know, things we can't take back, or we might have rubbed each other the wrong way for some things because of maybe we were tenser, and we have to kind of let go of that and just say, look, it's a new day. Let the past stay in the past. Let me let go of things. There's plenty of problems today without having to worry about yesterday. So as we leave this isolation, you know, let's leave also the petty resentments and the problems we have thing. And also, and this is, you know, I spoke about the good parts of media. We have become very over-reliant on media generally. And so we need to say to ourselves, you know, I don't have to be by my computer all the time. I don't have to watch every cable show that I can get my hands on. It's time to go outside. You know, as some pundit once said, you ought to try going outside. It's interactive, it's three-dimensional, you know, it's a good thing to be out and about. Even if it's a nice walk, even just sitting on this porch and the sun, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we have to, in a sense, you know, say to media, they're very helpful, and I really relied on media a lot during this lockdown. But now we're easing the lockdown, and we should find new and better ways of spending our time, so that, you know, there are some things we can take, some things we should leave behind. And sometimes over-reliance may be important. So you see there's like a proper balance between things. There are things that we can continue, and there are things that we could leave in the past. And I think knowing the difference is a very important part of growth. And so this may be the last of the fireside chats, at least for a while. If there's another spike, God forbid, or something else happens, we'll certainly begin them again. But I just wanted you to know that I've had really good time doing these, and I know you've given me some really positive feedback about them. So I'm very happy, and I wish God's blessings upon you and your families, that you may have grown through this experience, and that you continue to grow closer to Jesus, closer to the Lord, as we all continue our lives, hopefully into a brighter and more sun-filled future. But just know that here at AMAC, our home is your home, and you're always welcome to come to our church and to share a Eucharist, which is a wonderful thing. We can actually share Eucharist again and realize that it's a good thing to be part of the Roman Catholic Church and our particular church here in Astoria, Immaculate Conception. And so we give thanks to God for that, and I wish God, all God's blessings upon you, and just know that we'll continue to pray for the sick among you, the elderly, the infirm, those who have pre-existing conditions, that we will continue to go in that direction. But just please know that you have friends here at AMAC. God bless you, and hopefully we'll have good health in the future. God bless.